I really like blueberries. Everybody likes blueberries. They're delicious and they're good for you. And I happen to have a blueberry garden here, and with different kinds of blueberry plants in here. Now this blueberry plant right here is actually quite healthy. The leaves are green and full, the plant is healthy and stable, and this one's doing quite well. However, on this end, we have a plant that actually is yellowing quite a bit. You can see here that it's yellow around the edges. The veins are green, but those are gradually going to turn more pale and yellow like the ones down here. Now a few things can cause this to happen. There could be a lack of sunlight, because blueberries need about 5 to 8 hours of continuous sunlight in the day. But in this location, that's not generally a problem. We have plenty of sunlight here. They could also not be getting enough water. They need water that has good flowage to it in order to thrive. But that's not a problem here either. This garden gets plenty of water. We've had plenty of rain, and we've been watering where there's lack of rain. The last thing that could cause this could be the pH levels of the soil. Now blueberries like acidic soil. They prefer an acidity or a pH level of about 4 to 5 on this pH scale. Most soils and most plants go in about 6 to 7 pH level. And so if your soil's not at the right pH level, your plant may have trouble absorbing the iron that it needs to photosynthesize and stay green and healthy. With the green veins on the inside and yellow on the outside, this is a sure indication that we may have a pH problem in our soil. It's always best to get a test done through your county extension by sending in a sample soil to be tested, or getting a soil sampling test kit to measure the pH level of your soil before doing anything to augment the soil. So I did have my soil tested, and it is a little bit on the alkaline side, or the high pH level side. So we're going to talk about some strategies that we can do to help reduce the pH level of the soil, especially around plants like this that are struggling. One of the things that you can do as a quick fix, short-term solution to help this plant would be to get a diluted solution of water and vinegar. About 2 tablespoons to a gallon of water should about do it. You just pour that in and just water your plant around and let that solution soak into the root. Now this will only be good for about a week, so you'll want to do this weekly as a quick fix to help reduce the pH level of the soil. Another thing you can do is go to your local hardware store nursery and get an ammonium sulfate fertilizer, and you can spread that around your plants or throughout your garden and water it in to get it to penetrate down into the soil. Now that'll take some time to get into the roots and actually affect the roots and affect the soil pH, but it's a strategy that can be used about twice a year. Now around my gardens I have all kinds of different pine trees, and I have a lot of them. And pine trees will end up dying off in the lower branches, so I come in with an earthquake chainsaw and I'll cut those off and limb them off and get all the dead material out of there. They also drop a lot of pine needles, which you can see covering the floor of the underneath these trees, and all of that is great material for mulch. What we're going to do is take these needles and these branches that I've collected, and we're going to run them through the earthquake chipper shredder and turn them into really nice mulch that we can use to put in the soil around the blueberries to help reduce the pH level. After using my earthquake chainsaw to take the dead branches off of the pine trees that I have around here, we're going to use the earthquake chipper shredder to take this pile and convert it into a nice fine mulch that we're going to throw into the garden. Now pine trees are great material for this because they're acidic, but naturally acidic. And so when you mulch them up into small pieces and throw them in the garden, it'll help manage the pH level of your garden. To convert this big pile of brush into a usable mulch for our blueberry garden, we're going to use an earthquake chipper shredder. The earthquake chipper shredder has 2 tools. There's a chipper, which actually is where you're going to put materials up to 3 inches in diameter to chip it into a very fine chip material. The hopper is a shredder, where we'll put smaller branches up to a 1/2 inch in diameter and pine needles, which will also break it down to a very nice fine material. Now to collect the material that we put through the chipper shredder, we're going to use a bag to collect all the mulch that comes out. You simply hook the bag around the output chute and cinch down the rope to keep it in place. And you're ready to go. Always when using a chipper shredder, use adequate safety protection for your eyes and for your ears. And it's always a good idea to use a pair of work gloves to protect your hands. Now you can see we got a really good start to mulching our garden with this pine mulch. This will be great for keeping the roots cool and helping keep moisture in these plants, which is what they really need to thrive. Also, as they break down and work in with the rain and the watering that we'll do, and it works itself into the soil, it's going to be able to balance that pH level that's very important for the health of these plants. In the fall, we'll come back with a earthquake front tine tiller or rear tine tiller and till all this mulch into the soil in between these plants to further help develop the pH level of the soil. For other helpful gardening tips and to learn more about Earthquake's line of outdoor power equipment, come visit us at getearthquake.com.